Next, Rabbi Shimon Omer, הרואה את הנולד. Someone that sees the outcome of the deed. One of the main things that people like to read about today, both past and present, is leadership. Great leaders. Who are the great leaders in history? Great leaders of countries, of armies, and obviously, needless to say, great leaders of companies. That's why top bestsellers are always the bios of whether it's Steve Jobs or the Walton family, Henry Ford, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and so on and so forth. The list goes on and on. Everyone likes to read their books about their life. And he was a little kid, and he delivered newspapers for 25 cents a week. And one day he invented this, and the next day he went and worked in this, and da-da-da-da. And today he's a gazillionaire. It's always the same story. It's inspiring, and people like it. And everyone says, yeah, he's really smart. Oh yeah, he's really this, he's really that. But there's one common characteristic that all great leaders have, both past, present, and future, that's rarely talked about. Where if you don't have this character trait, it's impossible for you to be a great leader. Anyone want to take a guess? Huh?
You see the outcome of the actions.
To be able to see the future. To be able to use something called foresight. People that are smart hire smarter people. That's the best sign that you're smart. If you're smart, you want to run a business, you hire people that are smarter than you. Because if you're the only smart guy in the company, you're an idiot. Simply said, you have to hire smarter people. Steve Jobs did not create the iPhone. He did not create much of anything in the last 10, 15 years. He had an idea. And the really, really smart guys, they put it together. Same thing with every major company, whether it's Coca-Cola, or it's Pepsi, or it's Ford, or it's anything. They had an idea because of their foresight. They saw that there is going to be a need for something specific. There's going to be convenience created as a result of their product. They saw something in the future, not now. Steve Jobs knew that not everyone's going to buy a computer today when he first created the first computer. Well, first home computer, I should say. He knew that not everyone's going to buy it. I mean, any logical person would know that. There was nothing to do. There was no internet. It was a typewriter that was digital. You played games on it. You played, I don't know, Tetris or something. It was almost practically a useless machine. That just fancy. But he saw that the more people get it, the more likely there are going to be other people involved. And create other things. And take this internet that was basically just used by governments and make it mainstream. Eventually he was right. Eventually all of these leaders were right. So it's not that they were in the right place at the right time. That's not true. It's not about being at the right place at the right time. It's knowing where the right place is going to be in order to be there when it happens. You want to be a great leader, you have to be able to put yourself out there and let everyone call you crazy. Let everyone call you crazy. Wow, it's crazy you're coming up with this. Who's going to ever use a search engine? Well, it's called Google now. Who's ever going to use this? Who's ever going to use that? Every major company that ever succeeded was called crazy at one point. You must have foresight. That's the business advice. But the spiritual advice is even more important. Because that's the advice that's going to decide whether you have Olam Haba, that's a good or a bad one. In order for you to use this foresight, you have to look at the past. At your past. At your nation's past. And determine what the future is going to be based on that. The last time I looked at a girl, I walked up to her and chas v'shalom, you ended up sinning. So better, I don't look. The last time I went to this bar, fill in the blank. You know, the last time you did XYZ, you did this. The last time I hung out with Joey and Steve, we went to fill in the blank. So Joey and Steve are not exactly a chaver tov. Not only are they not rebuking me, they're making me sin. With friends like that, who needs enemies? You have to look at the past. You have to look at what you did in the past. The last time you had money. The last time you had money, were you an egotistical maniac? Or were you generous? The last time you had an argument with your wife and you yelled at her, did it actually work out to your advantage? Or did she try to, put a little poison in the cholent? How did it work out for you yelling at your wife? How did it work out for you yelling at your kids? They become smarter? They become wiser? They got hundreds in the next test, or they started failing for some strange reason? All of a sudden they became stupid. No, they didn't become stupid. They just lost all of their confidence because their father yells at them like an animal. Look at the past. Lil'ot et hanolad. Look at the past to see the future. Because that future is going to determine whether you're going to Gan Eden or Gehenom. Let's not misunderstand that. It's Gan Eden or Gehenom. There's no in between. It always was.